Hey everybody, my name is Professor Jason Snart. I'll be your instructor for our 5-week summer English course here. I just wanted to do a really quick video just of me. I'll do a whole bunch of these videos throughout our course, but they'll mostly be a screenshot of the course, which is, for the most part, a little bit more valuable. We'll walk through kind of basic things like where to find stuff in our course, but also review of assignments, so everything's clear. So most of them will be screen capture. But to start us off here, I thought I would do more of the headshot style video. Again, just to say hi, just to let you know that I'm like a real person in a real, very messy office. Because I know that sometimes taking an online course, I think especially in our condensed 5-week format, can feel a little bit maybe just like it's a very isolating or isolated experience for the student. You never really get to meet your professor, you don't interact with your peers very much, and that's definitely not what I want to create for our sense of sort of class or course community here. So again, just a couple of things right off the bat, not really content related at all, specific to our course. Excuse me. The first is that one of my primary concerns really early on here is just to get everyone feeling oriented so that navigation of our course, and it's kind of like where to find things, how the various like menu items in our Blackboard course, how they relate to one another, and kind of like where to go to find out like what's due, what's the due date, all of that kind of stuff. It's really important to me to sort of get that out of the way as soon as possible, so it's not a thing that you have to really concern yourself with or always be thinking about. It just sort of becomes second nature. The faster that can happen, the easier it will be for you to devote 100% of your attention to the actual course, not just like where do I click and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you find the course relatively transparent. In other words, it's fairly simple to figure out like where do I go, what's the next thing to do, where do I find instructions, how do I submit work, and all that kind of stuff. But despite, or maybe because of, our really quick 5-week format here, I'm going to encourage people somewhat counterintuitively to actually slow down right at the very start. And depending on when you're watching this, you might even be doing this as sort of like the early welcome, since I've opened the course up a little bit early. But if you're just getting here as the term starts, that's fine too. But before jumping into the work and before finding the first assignment to do, even though I'm sure that's on everyone's mind, is just to take like a step back and take in the sort of bigger picture of things. Again, slowing down a little bit at the start here, and I'm not talking days, I'm talking like 10 or 15 minutes just to kind of get a sense of the big picture. I think adding a little bit of slowness at the start can really help with moving efficiently throughout the rest of the class, and making sure you're not missing simple things and losing points just because, not because you didn't understand something or did it wrong, but you just like didn't read that instruction or whatever. It's easy to happen, and again, there's lots of material that we've got to get through in the 5-week term. So ease of navigation is really one of my primary concerns. I've tried to design with the user, that's you in mind, and I think the sooner you can get sort of oriented and comfortable in the course about where things are, where to click, etc., the more productive you can be right away, and successful, I think, with the course material. So navigation, ease of finding your way around, and just basic orientation is really important to me. So I've designed with that in mind, but of course, if you find something that either doesn't make sense, or is clearly a typo, or a link either doesn't work, or it takes you to a place you didn't think it would take you, just let me know right away. I try to fix those within minutes if possible, since obviously I know that time is really of the essence, and if I've made a mistake in there, I want to know about it so I can fix it. So let me know. Email is the best way. One little quick thing then about time management, and this is, I think, important in any kind of class, face-to-face online. It's important in a 16-week class, kind of the most traditional format, but it becomes super important in our 5-week format. And the thing that I want you to kind of think about, well, there's two things that are related. The first is that in a traditional 16-week 3-credit course, you would meet, let's say in a face-to-face class, for 3 hours in class every week, like maybe a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 10:50, and you add those up, and it's, the academic 3 hours. If you condense that to the 5-week term, you'd be in class for about 9 hours every week. That's a lot of hours in class. So kudos to anyone who's taken a fully face-to-face 5-week class and who's teaching those. I feel like the online is a good way of being able to spread the time out a little bit. It's not less work. It's just you're able to work around your own schedule a little bit. But anyway, so at minimum, in the 5-week fully face-to-face version of this, you would be in the classroom for 9 hours. So just take that into account in terms of your time investment in our class. So clearly we're not having to meet every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 10:50, or like that established time where we're all together. We still have, due dates laid out, so it's not like a self-paced course or you turn everything in at the end or anything like that. But like I said, within those due dates, your time is a little bit more flexible. But 20 minutes here and there across a whole week is not going to get it done. You really do have to commit to 9 hours a week. Maybe not exactly 9 hours. But it can't just be a couple of minutes here or there, and you're going to expect to get everything done correctly and get something out of the class and be successful. So 9 hours per week. Just think about that in terms of the face-to-face investment. So the related part of that, the time management part that it's like so simple to say but hard to do for everybody, is if you were taking this class in a face-to-face format, you might use like a day planner, either paper format or some sort of digital, schedule thing in your calendar, whatever. And you would write in like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 to 10:50, you're in whatever class you're in, right? You wouldn't, because you have to physically be there, you wouldn't double book yourself to be there and work at your job or go to the dentist or mow the lawn or the billion other things that we have to get done, right? So I really want to caution folks not to let the online class, which doesn't have that set day and time where you have to be somewhere, don't let it just become the thing that's in your to-do list that always gets shuffled below the stuff that does have that specific day and time where you have to be in that specific place. If you've ever tried that before, you probably know what's going to happen, and if you've never kind of done this, you can probably guess, right? You never quite get to the to-do thing, and so you're always trying to race right at the end. You're not really invested in the course. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to get much out of it. Your grade's going to reflect that. You'll be frustrated. I'll be frustrated because I'll see you posting at the very last minute all the time. Again, do yourself the favor of blocking out time on your calendar or your schedule or whatever you use, just as if you had to be in class at a particular time. Again, the flexible part is that for some of you that might be every day from 10 to 10:50 or whatever the exact time is. It might be 10 a.m., it might be 10 p.m., right? Whatever it is. That's the nice flexible part because we don't have to all be in the same place on the same day. But you still need to give yourself the time, and sort of, I don't even want to say it's like a favor to yourself, but it's just treating yourself with respect. It's respecting your own investment in your education. So you might have pressures from other people, employers, family responsibilities, all that stuff that's weighing on you, but you kind of got to say, no, this is the class that I've decided to take in the format that I've decided to take it in. I need to devote this chunk of time on Monday, this chunk of time on Tuesday, etc., and that's my time to work on this. Not, I'll just do it when I get everything else done, or I'll do this and go to the dentist, be at work, and mow the lawn all at the same time. That would be pretty wild stuff. Maybe in the future, once we all have like embedded chips, you can mow and do your online course at the same time, except I think your robot will be mowing at that point. But anyway, hopefully you get the point that in the 5-week term, there's just a lot of hours we got to cram into a very little semester length. And I feel like it's just doing yourself a disservice if you don't block out time where you know you're going to devote to this class. And again, it might change as you get sort of into the rhythm of the due dates and figure out when your most flexible times are or when your open times are going to be. But you really have to make that conscious effort to make time to do the class, not, I'll just get it done when all the other stuff is done. So that's kind of the upfront piece, right? Ease of navigation and really taking time management seriously. It's like the key to success, really in any educational endeavor, but especially our format here. The longer term goal that I want to share with you, and this is part of me like going on at length and introducing myself here, is I really hope that your participation in this course, it feels like you're actually in a class with other people, not just me as a presence or a face here, but your classmates as well. And there'll be lots of opportunities for us to introduce ourselves, not just in some academic, like intellectual sense, but really like who we are as people. We'll have lots of opportunity to collaborate and work with each other and exchange ideas and feedback and all of that kind of jazz. So it's really important to me, just from a sort of ethical perspective, that you feel like you're part of a class community. It really feels like you're engaged in something. And then pedagogically on the teaching side, I really do believe that a greater sense of connectedness on the student's part really does, in almost all cases, lead to better outcomes. And I don't even want to just say like a better grade per se. You could be like quasi-engaged and maybe get a B. But you could be really engaged, maybe get that same B, but I bet that you've learned more from the class, even if the grade doesn't show it. And truthfully, I think the grade almost always does show it. So the not so engaged student who's really just making that half effort, sure, you can maybe pull a C, let's say a passing grade. But that's not what we're in it for, I hope. So there's lots of opportunity built into the course to feel engaged, to feel like you're part of this sort of class community. And I hope that that will translate into you getting more out of the class and, in fact, improving your grade at the end of it. So really most of what I want to say up front is, A, like, hello, I'm a real human. The messy office proves it. You can send me an email. I'll get back to you as fast as I possibly can, even if it's just to acknowledge receipt of your email, even if I can't, I'm not at a computer, I can't like do anything exactly. I'll try to send you something right back just saying, I got it, I'm on it, we'll take care of it. And then to make sure that you put a real premium on getting yourself oriented sort of to the big picture of our class before diving into some of the content, to taking the time management piece really seriously, right? Respect yourself and your time, your investment in your education, and to really embrace the opportunity to kind of like make this class community and make it work for you. Hopefully you're getting something kind of content-wise out of the course, but hopefully it's a little bit more than that as well. Summer, 5-week, it goes by so fast, it's like blink, oh, we're done. But there's lots to cram in there. So hopefully you get settled quickly. Hopefully the course is relatively easy to navigate. You can find what you need. You can find a way to make time management work for you. And again, you will hopefully develop this sense of being sort of connected with an actual class community, which I think is really important. And it's certainly important to me. So my next check-ins will be mostly screenshots of our course, again, helping with navigation, kind of guiding through certain concepts, just reiterating stuff that's already in our course, highlighting due dates, obviously really important, maybe reviewing certain kinds of things that are happening. It all depends on what's actually going on in our course right then and there. So again, early welcome if you're in a little bit early, just regular welcome if you're getting here as the term starts. Welcome to the course, and I hope it ends up being a good, productive, though quick semester.